Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, I apologize again for having to cancel the live stream last week, but I was just super busy and did not have the time, unfortunately, but I'm happy to be back this week. And I am recording, or not recording, streaming over Ethernet for the first time. So I know we haven't really had any comments about audio issues for a while, but my computer is already, or everything on the internet that I've used on my computer has been so much faster. So even if it doesn't improve the live streams at all, I think it was definitely worth it for me. I want to start today by showing a postcard of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can share my screen. Yeah, I think the stream, let me know if it looks or sounds any better than usual. I think it's about the same, but if it's a little different, that would be nice too. It was crazy how quickly they got the Ethernet ports installed, which I read was called a drop, and they called them drops too, which I don't really understand. They had a lot of terms I didn't really understand. He told me I needed to get some things. It was basically Ethernet cables is what I needed to get, but he had a different word for it that I didn't understand. But yeah, I've got my computer hooked up now to the Ethernet and also my PlayStation in the other room, which are the two priorities in the house. Now, I asked my wife if she wanted her office hooked up, but she didn't. So she said the Wi-Fi was good enough for her. So I only did my, or the two rooms that I use the most. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen, present, share screen, window. There we go. Okay, there we go. Oh, cool. Yeah, so this is, oh, let me get my mouse off of there. This is the postcard of the week. I guess I was going to say of the day, but I guess it's of the week. This is just a really cool one that I wanted to share. It's a street view in Minneapolis, and it's the street's all decorated for Christmas, which is why I thought it was so cool. You can see a theater there on the right side. I can't tell if it's the Garrick Theater or if that's the name of something else. But you can see a little bit on the marquee, maybe what's playing. I think, or what I can make out is Underworld on stage, John something. Sorry, I got a little bit ahead of my mic there. And there's something Lillian GIS something, which I think is also at the theater. I don't know what street this is in Minneapolis, but it probably wouldn't be too hard to figure it out. And I've never seen a street scene like this where it's so decorated for Christmas. With the Santa Clauses specifically, which I guess are on every lamppost, but you can only see two, or actually you can see four, I think. One, two, three, four at least. So I guess they put them on every lamppost. And then you have some really old cars close to the shot. I zoomed in on the license plate, and I think it's 1927. So that makes sense. The back is blank, not written on or anything, but 1927 sounds about right to me. But yeah, this one, I just thought it was such a cool one. I am, I don't know what the word is. I'm partial to Christmas and any winter themed postcards. When I first started collecting, I had a bunch of just snow scenes and winter scenes because I just love the snow, love winter, love anything Christmas related. So this postcard has a special place in my heart, and apart from just being a snow scene, it's got so much else going on. So just thought that one was really cool and wanted to share it to start the video, and I'm going to try to figure out how to unshare it. Okay, there we go. That was easier than I thought. Now I've done that many times. I don't know why I still, I don't know. Streaming software is hard. Okay, let's see who we got in the chat. Nancy Ann says hello, hello. Welcome in, Nancy. Moments to Memory says sounds good. Great to hear. If anything, if the quality doesn't improve, at least the lag should improve, I would guess. Although that might be on YouTube's end instead of my end. But I am wired directly to the World Wide Web, so Um, it doesn't have to wirelessly travel through the air anymore. Mr. Hot WHLS Hot Wheels, Mr. Hot Wheels says hi, Daniel. Natalie's in the chat, says sounds good here. Good to hear. Let me know how your weeks were in the chat, selling on eBay, but in general too, if anything is going on. I'll talk about eBay and in general. eBay was really good this week, but I knew it would be really good because I listed a lot of postcards that were in my personal collection, which I talked about yesterday in my What Sold video. But I have some postcards in my personal collection that I kind of look at like a, I don't know, like if I want to buy something else, I will sell those. Some postcards in my collection I will never sell, like my Athens cards and some other ones, cat cards that I have, or cat RPPCs I will never sell. But there were some in my collection that I thought were really, really cool and I wanted to keep, but they were just, yeah, pretty valuable, and I decided I would rather have the money than have the postcard. But I did scan all of the ones in my personal collection that I listed on eBay, so I have actually a folder on my iPhone and iPad, like a folder in my Photos app. So I really enjoy looking at them on my iPad and phone and whatever, but I really enjoy almost looking at them digitally more than physically, just because it's nice to have the big screen and you don't have to have the light on because the screen's backlit and you can just zoom in. So in a lot of ways, it's superior to look at them on a screen than on or than actually physically. But one of the reasons why I sold some in my personal collection is the Switch 2 is releasing June 5th, and I know a lot of people watching probably will either not be interested in a Switch 2 or have no idea what it is, but I'm really excited about it, and I like playing video games, and the Switch is my favorite console, and the original one came out 8 years ago now, almost, and it is showing signs of its age. So really excited to get my hands on the new one, as hard as it was to sell some of those postcards. But I think the people that I'm selling them to are gonna, appreciate them more than I do, just because, I enjoyed them, but a lot of them were from towns that I don't really personally collect. All of them were from towns that I don't personally collect. So yeah, I'm sure they're going to good homes. Homer Simpson said, "Yeah, how was your install?" It was really good. He didn't know exactly how fast it was going to take when he came to just give me an estimate. So the wall that he went down is right there, and he didn't know for sure if he was going to have to drill through anything else. And it turns out he was able to drop it just straight from the attic, straight down, and didn't have to drill through anything else. So he said it was really easy, and it took them, yeah, less than 2 hours, which was very quick. So yeah, it was a great experience. They got here at 9. We're out by 11 or before 11. So I can't complain, and the internet speeds are already, I mean, I had or have a really good router, so it's not like the speed was super slow. Not over Ethernet, but of course anything's always better over Ethernet than wireless. So, yeah, I think it'll be 100% worth it. I don't know exactly how much it will cost yet, but the first estimate he gave me was 600, which if it's 600, that's totally fine. I know I could have done it myself, but I would much rather pay somebody, a professional who knows what they're doing, rather than trying to attempt doing that myself. Even though it looked like just running Ethernet through the attic. I know there was more to it than that. Probably installing the little plug outlet thing for the Ethernet to go in is the most, or is the part that I probably wouldn't be able to do. But yeah, I had a great experience and glad I got it done. Homer said, awesome, sounds and looks great. My next project that I'm thinking about, if anybody knows more about landscaping in the chat, please let me know, because we had a few people when I first started talking about Ethernet that knew a lot more than I did, and they were very helpful. So the next project is going to be outside, and I want to put in raised beds in the front yard, which, if that was all I was doing, it would be very easy. But our front yard is on a very, or we're on a hill, so it's a really steep slope in the front yard. Um, Probably 30 to 45 degrees. It's very steep. Probably closer to 45 degrees. And I have an idea of what I want to do. I saw a picture online. I can share it, I think. Raised beds on a slope. Let's see. Hmm. Oh, here we go. This is pretty close to what I want to do. Yeah, this is almost exactly what I want to do, actually. Can I share this? I'll just share my screen. Buddy. So this picture, can I make that any bigger? This, oh, it didn't go to the right. Let me share again. Sorry. Share screen. This right here is kind of what I want to do in our front yard. And I know it's going to take a lot of wood, obviously. We also have this shrubbery out there that I'm going to hack at, and a bush that I'm going to try to get rid of too. So that's going to be probably something I'm working on in a couple weeks. I don't really know the best way to remove like the shrubbery and the bush and stuff. I was just going to get like a pickaxe and hack at it, and then a shovel too, and try to use that. And I know it'll work eventually, but it'll probably take a lot more effort. If anybody knows an easier way, let me know. And I don't know exactly what types of wood I'll have to get, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. This one, actually, I hadn't seen this one before, but this one looks really nice. How they have little shelves and stuff, and the stairs. I definitely want stairs in it, but we have a lot of room in our front yard, and it's kind of just going to waste right now because it's just like grass. And I'm not a huge fan of grass. I mean, grass is fine, don't get me wrong, but um, I would much rather have something useful planted in our yard than just grass. Like, I'm definitely going to plant tomatoes, peppers, watermelon. I'm going to try to plant some trees. Peaches grow really well here. Georgia's known for their peaches, in case you didn't know. Pecans grow really well too. So I'm going to try and get some of those in. I already have one pecan tree, but it's just a baby. And I thought it died, but it came back to life. I think it was like a few weeks ago I first noticed the leaves. And a blueberry bush too, I thought had died, also came back to life. So going to get a lot more fruits and vegetables and nuts planted in our yard. And I think it'll be great. Just as soon as we get like everything taken care of, like hacking out the bushes and stuff is probably the part I'm least looking forward to. And also trying to level the ground a little bit to make it like steps. But yeah, if anybody's done anything like that, let me know if you have any tips. Ashley said, "Hey, postcard pals, what did I miss?" Not really anything. I showed a postcard of the week, so I would rewind to watch that at the end. But yeah, just shooting the breeze. Is that what the phrase is? Shooting the breeze. What was I gonna say? I had something else I was gonna say that wasn't related. Oh yeah. I was gonna tell everyone I would highly recommend ordering supplies if you have the space and the money, because with the tariffs, a lot of our supplies come from China, so they could get very, very expensive. I know EcoSwift is what I recently ordered. I'm good on pretty much everything else, but I was going to have to order more EcoSwift envelopes within the next couple months anyway, so I just went ahead and ordered 3,000. I usually order 1,500 at a time, but I wanted to stock up, and I don't really have space for any more, so unfortunately, whenever these 3,000 run out, which should get me through, I mean, I should have enough envelopes really to last me through the year, so hopefully there's going to be some point between, you know, the later half of the year that I'm going to have the chance to buy EcoSwift envelopes at a good price. But you might have other um, other supplies that you need to reorder that also come from China. Let me see. The last I checked, okay, it says 145% is what tariffs are on Chinese goods. I don't know exactly what the markup is on EcoSwift envelopes, but I don't think they're making an enormous profit. So I don't know. What would the price maybe would double on EcoSwift? I have no idea. But once they're subject to the tariffs, they'll either be really expensive or they just won't bother to distribute them in the U.S. anymore. Which will both of those would be a problem. Philip says hire landscaper. Yeah, yeah, I have a friend that I used to live with that's a landscaper in Athens. But the problem with that is good landscapers are expensive, and I'm trying to do this more affordably. But I would love it if I could hire a professional to do that in the front yard. Maybe one day. We want to have them do something in the back too, because we are on a very steep slope. Imagine like a house built into the side of a mountain, and that's basically what we're on. Not that we're on a mountain, it's just the steepness is like that of a mountain. So we were going to get, or at one point, considering getting a retaining wall in the backyard and like some landscaping done back there too. So that's definitely in the longer term plan. We've just had a lot of things we've had to pay for in the last year. 3 weeks ago was our 1 year anniversary of being in the house. So we've been in the house just a little over a year. And in that year, we have both bought new cars. We have, well, not new as in brand new, but new to us. And we have replaced our entire HVAC system. We have got our crawl space encapsulated. I'm probably missing one or two other more minor things that we've had done. But all that to say, we spent a lot of money in the last year. So any big project like that will unfortunately have to wait or be done by hand, which I am going to try to do the front yard. I'm going to have help, but not paid help, free labor. But yeah, I imagine it. I don't know. I like working outside. I just don't know. I can do basic things like cut the grass and pull weeds, and I can plant. I'm good at planting plants, but the other stuff like actual landscaping, I don't have a lot of experience with. GT said, hello all, welcome in GT. Ashley said, sounds like we can come to you and SM Postcards for EcoSwift envelopes in the future. Yeah, maybe. No, I could sell them in really small quantities. I'm sure Mark has a ton. He probably has an entire, knowing him, he probably has an entire room full of only EcoSwift envelopes, and he's got tens of thousands just waiting for the market to collapse or go up. You froze for a couple seconds on my end. Okay, yeah, maybe maybe a rat's chewing on the Ethernet. No, oh, you did miss that. Yeah, I got Ethernet installed this morning, which is not the correct word. I got some drops put in, I think is what they would say. But I have Ethernet on my computer. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact terminology. I know I sound much older talking about it, but I have Ethernet now on my computer, so I have wired internet instead of wireless, which should mean a more reliable connection. But yeah, we also still have AT&T, so I mean the service where we live has actually been pretty good, but I know in a lot of areas AT&T isn't super reliable, but has been for us. I don't think it actually has even gone out once. We lost power when the hurricane came through last year, but other than that, we've never lost internet. And I guess the internet still was up. It just didn't have power, or the router didn't have power, or the modem. Sorry. Moments to Memories hardwired. Yes, I am hardwired directly to the internet, directly to the modem. There is a wire going from my computer to the wall, and there's a wire behind the wall going from another wall to another wall, and there's a wire from that wall going to the modem, which I'm told is much more reliable than wireless. And I believe it, because the speed, I got was incredible. We have a gigabit service, and I was getting like 880. So, Brad says, hi everyone. Welcome in, Brad. And I do have, um, sorry, let me close some of these tabs out. I will probably not stay on super late today. I got about halfway through my listing quota of postcards for the day. So I still have some more work to do after the stream, so I'll probably, I don't know, 3:15, 3:30 or so. But I definitely didn't want to cancel today, and I was happy they got done so early because I was going to do it live stream while they were installing the Ethernet, but it wasn't my preference. So I'm glad they got done early. I was gonna tell them, hey guys, it's fine, just make whatever noise you gotta do. But if you hear me in here talking, I'm not crazy. I'm just doing a live stream, so just don't worry about me, because where they installed it is literally right there. So was happy that they got it done, and I could use it, test it out for the live stream. But yeah, like I said, because of that, I had to run a few errands this morning too. Didn't get fully done with my listing quota for the day. If anybody, I mentioned this in yesterday's video, but in case, actually, let me just read some of these comments right now, because I think it'll be funny. I didn't really read any of them. I saw them coming in when the video came out, but I knew I couldn't pass up the opportunity to make a video about eBay being down. Let me see if I can share my screen. So yeah, the title of the video and the thumbnail of the video was definitely clickbait. But yeah, the video got quite a few views, and a lot of people watched it that don't normally watch my videos at all. So it was just funny, and it got a lot more comments than my videos usually get either. It was just funny how the comments were people who, for the most part, I recognize some people that regularly watch my videos, of course, but some of the comments were just people who clearly have not watched my videos before and were just commenting based off of what the title said. But yeah, my sales were down a little bit the week before. But apparently a lot of people are riled up about eBay sales being down. And yeah, maybe we're getting some new people interested in postcards from that. So there was one comment that I thought was really funny about a candle. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah. So you sell postcards and you have a lit candle in the room. Are you trying to meet a fire marshal? I thought that one was funny. I almost commented about it in the video, but I didn't want to overshare. But I'll overshare on the live stream because I don't mind sharing on the live stream. But our cat Cleo had just projectile vomited over several postcard boxes right before the live stream, or I recorded the video. So I lit a candle to try to make it didn't like stink, but I didn't want to, wait for it to stink. So that's why I lit the candle. But I appreciate the concern from that commenter. And I'm not going to make it a regular thing to light candles because, yeah, that would be, if anything goes wrong, my office would go up in flames. So actually, you know what? Instead of cutting the live stream short, how about let's do some live listing? I already have my listing up still, so I've only have 50 postcards left. I think I did 100 a month or two ago, and that took a while, but I don't mind doing 50. So how about let's do some live pricing here. I already have everything else done. Let me see if I can share my screen. And I'm just going to try to share my entire screen. Okay, entire screen. There we go. Here we go. Okay. So let's price some postcards, and we can get live input. If anybody thinks my prices are stupid, please let me know. Related to the candle, Daniel, on a serious note, do you have insurance on your inventory? I need to get business insurance, but uh, no, I don't have insurance on my inventory. We do have, of course, homeowners insurance. Um, and I do have a personal postcard collection, so I believe those would be covered under our personal homeowners policy. But I don't have business insurance for all of these postcards, and I don't know how exactly to value them and get that. But yeah, that would definitely be a smart idea and something I should do. I just haven't taken the time to do that yet. We're not at risk of flooding. Um, the place, our house is built into a hill, so we're not really, I don't think a tornado could really do that much damage to our house. The only thing I would be concerned about, or really concerned about, is fire. And I am very, very careful, and I don't know. I never leave the room when a candle's lit. I have, um, everything's plugged into like, extension cords that are, I don't buy the cheap extension cords, or, not the extension cords, but like I don't even know what it's called, outlet. But always get the fire safe ones of those. So, knock on wood, I think it would take a lot for this room of postcards to. Honestly, the biggest threat to this room is probably the cats. And I do need to start closing the door because yeah, the one cat threw up on a couple boxes of postcards the other day. Um, a couple of them were in here last night just messing shit up and just throwing them everywhere. I don't know how they did it. So I don't know if I can get insurance on or insurance against cat related damages. KK said, "Hey Daniel, have you been to the Hunspec show? It's May 31st to June 1st, and I'm wondering if it's good." Yes, I have. It's the best show in the Tennessee and Alabama area. I say that because when I lived in around Nashville, the only shows I went to were the ones in Tennessee and the show in Huntsville, and it is definitely the best out of those handful of shows. No, it's a really good show. They have stamps and coins. When I went, the room is very large. They had one half of the room for stamp and coin dealers, and the other half was for postcard dealers. I think there were, I want to say 10 to 15 postcard dealers, but it was a really, really good show. I would recommend it if you're within driving distance. It's a little bit too far for me because it's like 5 hours, and I'd either have to get up really early or book a hotel room. And this year, at least, I did not want to do either of those. Alan said, "Thanks for the Patreon video on going to postcard shows and sourcing there. It can be overwhelming when everything's tapped out versus just going to an antique store and searching the boxes." Yeah, there's so much at shows. At least at decent shows. Some shows, maybe if it's like a stamp show, they might only have one or two people there with postcards. But yeah, postcard shows are incredible. And yeah, if you're a Patreon member, I did a video about shows yesterday, and just like what to expect and what to do and how to shop for cards, stuff like that. But it is a really good place to source, especially if you're a collector. And man, I love postcard shows, and we have one. I'll be going to two this year, or the current plan is to go to two. And I don't see any reason why that would change. If anything, I might go to one or two more, but probably just two. One in August in Georgia, which is a newer show, or at least they just added postcard dealers. It's put on by the Stamp Club, so they used to only have stamps, but they're getting into postcards now, which is great. And that is in August, and the show in Wichita in October. Um, tabbed out. Tabbed out. Yeah, that makes more sense. Uh, yeah. Yeah, so it is really good in some ways because you can pick certain categories to shop for. Like, yeah, I said in the video, I always do the Mississippi, or I always look at their Mississippi and Delaware because there's, I mean, there are some exceptions, like Dover, maybe the cards don't sell as well if it's like the capital or whatever. And then in Mississippi, some like Jackson and I forget where the Vicksburg, some Vicksburg cards don't sell that well, but yeah, I look at all those and then there's topics that I zero in on too. But yeah, postcard shows are a ton of fun and just a blast. Okay, let's see. Uh, the next postcard I have to list is I can't, I just realized I can't really, okay, I'll just make this bigger so you can see. Oh, that's not even the next one. A little bit rusty on live listing. Okay, this is a parade in Kingston, New York, which is written on the back. And I honestly didn't want to do any research on that to try to assume it's correct. The writing looked like it was original to the card, so that's what I went with. But it's a nice street view of a parade in Kingston, New York. So, and sometimes I copy and paste, but I'll just search parade. So yeah, kill two birds with one stone here. And eBay still does not do a good job. Or they purposely, show you all kinds of results when you're only looking for one thing. Okay, so yeah, no RPPCs for a parade. So I'll just look at all Kingston RPPCs that have sold in the last 3 years. And they've gone as high as 65. Kingston, Jamaica. Is Jamaica on Long Island, New York? Are there two Kingston, New York? I actually sold this Kingston, New York card. $25. I mean, mine's a little bit neater than that, right, with the parade? Okay. I might just try $39.95. I think I list. Oh, I did list that one at $39.95, and I took 25 for it. So yeah, maybe I'll have to go lower eventually, but I'm gonna try to get $39.95 out of that photo card, and I'll have to change my policy. Whenever a card's over $20, you just have to change it to ground advantage. Whoops. Not there, right here. So you can see I have almost 2,000 postcards that are over $20 and 26,600 that are under $20. The next one is a pretty neat real photo card. I don't know how well the town sells, but I thought it was a cool card. It's the Reformed Church in Del Mar, New York, but it has a nice photo of the pastor there too, Henry Bacon Allen, minister. It doesn't look like a super big church, so I'm guessing it's a smaller town. And for this one, I'm just gonna search church. Yeah, not much. That looks like a, I don't know, 40s or 50s card. Yeah, nothing in the way of early cards. And if this fails, okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, circa 1960s church sold for $14.98, which is a decent sign. I'm just searching all Del Mar, and this, I believe, would have been sold by Kevin, the postcard guy. Shout out to Kevin. He does that watermark. But yeah, that one, I'm guessing it was fixed price, 25. So yeah, I might go or 1995. I think I can get 1995 out of it. I don't think I'll be able to get much more. Let's see. Yeah, the town just, okay, that one went for 45 in 2018. And then the next closest we have is under 20. Oh, that's a better card than mine. I am just gonna go. You know what? Maybe somebody will be willing to pay a bit more. I'm gonna try to sell it in the 30 range, so I'm gonna go $34.95. It might be a little bit too high, but I'd rather do a little bit too high than a little bit too low and have it sell super quickly, especially since I do it You know, after it's been up 4 months, it'll go 25% off. So it may sell for around 20 eventually if it gets to that point, but I'm gonna shoot my shot. This is a not a super exciting card. Shady Glen, Wood Turning Millen Falls, Catskill Mountains. Shady Glen, Wood Turning Mill. Okay, that is my same card right there for $7.99, $10.39. So, and that pretty close for $6.95. That's really all I need to see. There's quite a few listed, so I'm just gonna go $5.95 on that one. Fairly common card. This next one probably will be too. Fawn's Leap, Catskill Mountains, New York. It got a little crooked in my scanner. Probably the highest I would guess I would list this card for is $10. So let's see. Yeah, definitely gonna be lower than that. I'm just gonna make sure that those are, yeah, that's looks like a either the same or very close view. $3.95, $4.49, $5.50. Yeah, I've seen all I need to see. I'm just gonna go $4.95 on that one. Nancy said, what is everyone doing about allowing or turning off the eBay Facebook Marketplace feed? Some say they use AI for details and they are error prone. What do you know? Yeah, I just saw that. I don't know much about it at all, but I saw that eBay or some listings on eBay now are going to show up on Facebook Marketplace. I haven't fiddled with any settings to turn it off or turn it on, but if they want to show some of my listings on Facebook Marketplace, that's fine. I don't really care. As long as I don't have to do anything extra. I don't use AI for anything, so I'm not sure about that part of your question. But yeah, I would assume that the eBay AI sometimes makes things up. This is a nice card. Sorry I didn't show it. Main Street, Boonton, New Jersey. I don't think it's a New Jersey town that does extremely well because I've sold several Boonton cards before, but this is a nice street view. So let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything like my card. So that one is probably the closest. One active offer. 2 people watching it. I'm thinking I'm going to go $20 on my card, but I want to see what's sold first. Also, I wanted to mention a new eBay feature I think I picked up on the other day. I believe, just because I saw on that postcard, it said it had one active offer. I believe if there's more than one watcher on an item and one of the watchers puts in an offer, then the other watchers get notified. Because I had a postcard that I sold last week, and it sold about the day, it was about 24 hours after I listed it. But I got an offer of $50 on it, and then immediately after I got that, like within a few minutes, I got an offer of $52. And I don't know if eBay told them what the offer amount was for, or if it was just a coincidence. But at the very least, I would have to imagine that they were notified another buyer made an offer on the item that they were interested in. And I hadn't sent out any offers on the item. So I have to imagine that prompted the buyer to send the offer, which I think is a pretty cool feature and could definitely lead to more sales. Okay, there's a few cards from Boonton sold for pretty good money. 98 and 61. This one of the Main Street sold for 31. And then 28. These are all in 2022 though. Yeah, more recently, that one sold for $12.75. So I don't think I don't think Boonton cards maybe are going for as much as they used to. Maybe they are, but I don't know. Let me just search all Boonton. And if I see a recent one that has sold for, good money, I'll reconsider. Okay. Oh, that's a canal. Okay, so yeah, the Morris Canal related ones have sold for good money, but That's completely different. It's a defunct canal, and Morris Canal ones can go for really good money. So, it's funny, but if my card was a canal instead of a street scene, I could probably sell it for more money, which is interesting because you wouldn't normally think that. But okay, yeah, these other than the canal, I don't really see any recent sales that have sold for good money. This is one that I sold of the canal. So yeah, $50 for that card. Um, yeah, canal. Okay, this is one that sold fairly recently for $45 of Boonton, and maybe that is the canal. I don't even know. What does a canal look like? No, I don't think. Oh, man, I don't want to underprice this card, but I might just go 34.95 because this one, mine's mine's pretty comparable to this one. Listed at 29.99, and it has an offer for who knows what. But mine's definitely a different view, so I don't know what that's worth. But I'm just gonna go 34.95 because again, I'd rather what was I gonna say? Rather overprice it than underprice it. Let me change that shipping policy again. And it might be a little bit too high, but all my cards that are a little bit too high will just come down naturally over time. um, okay, let me catch up on the comments here. Been getting lots of offers and taking most based on what I paid for a card. A few super low ones from resellers on eBay, and I turn those down, of course. Yeah, I don't know if I'm getting worse offers or if I've just gotten stingier, but I don't know. It, I really, if, I think I just do this because I discount everything 25% after it's been up 4 months. But if an item is not on discount already, the lowest I'll really go is 15 to 20%. But if it's 25% off already, I'll go another 15 to 20%. So in like the most I'm willing to go off is probably close to 50%, but that's only after a card has been up for a while. But yeah, I'm definitely stingier with the cards that aren't yet discounted. Lil said, hello, excited about the St. Louis cards I got from you. Never seen the wallpaper store one before. Oh, yeah, thank you so much for your order. Yeah, I saw that was you. I don't know if you wanted it or not. If you didn't, just toss it in the trash. But I did put one of my cat postcards in there when I saw that, yeah, I had the order from you. So, the Space Cats, to be specific, which I haven't been putting in eBay orders. But yeah, those were some really nice St. Louis cards. The florist one too. I think that one was really common, and that's why I priced it lower. But that was a really nice night scene of the florist. And if I collected St. Louis, that would definitely be a really nice card. But yeah, you had great taste with those, and they are headed your way. Alan said, last comment, bought 10 plus postcards from sellers on eBay, and unbelievable how bad the packaging was. Only a few used EcoSwift, and many just put in a thin envelope, and some cards were unsellable and damaged. Yeah, it's really all over the board with how sellers ship postcards, because a lot of sellers don't really. I mean, they'll just list some postcards as a one-off, list a couple postcards, and they don't make a business out of it. But yeah, I've gotten some unpleasant mailings when I've bought postcards for my collection from eBay from sellers that maybe don't normally sell postcards. Um, I I've gotten one or two that have gotten damaged. Nothing terrible, just like maybe a little bend. Um, but yeah, the probably the biggest or most egregious thing sellers do when I buy postcards is just over taping it. Even if they just send the postcard in an envelope, they like entomb the postcard in tape, which you can't. They just make it difficult to get the postcard out without damaging it because there's so much tape on it. Um, but yeah, yeah. If you're using EcoSwifts, you're way ahead of the game. Biff said, first time live commenter. Welcome, Biff. I don't know. I'm sure you've commented on a few videos of mine, but I recognize your name most from SM Postcards videos, because I know, yeah, you do frequently send Mark messages. So I definitely remember Mark reading some of your questions, and I think he pronounces your name different every time. My funniest Mark moment was he was talking about, or he was just sprinkling in his what sold in a video, and he mispronounced Puget Sound. I think it's Puget Sound. Correct me if I'm wrong. But even if I'm pronouncing it wrong, it's not as bad as what he pronounced it. He said pungent sound, which that's my favorite mispronunciation of his. People don't realize it's hard to talk this much on video for everybody to watch and not mispronounce a bunch of words. I'm not perfect. I try to be, but I'm not. But yeah, forgive me if I mispronounce your favorite word. This card is probably going to be pretty common, but I thought it was kind of neat. Steeplechase Rockaway Beach, Long Island. See what we have. Yeah, like I thought. Common like I thought. Probably go, what, 5.95? Alright. I'd rather it still soon. Oh, I'm just going to go for it. No, I'll go 5.95. Yeah, because it'll go on sale anyway, if it's been up for a little while, so. The next one I'm going to have to, whoops, sorry about that. Let me answer this question. The next one, I was going to say the next postcard I'm going to have to airdrop myself, which is why I got my phone out, because I don't know what words to search for this card with, so I'm just going to search for it by image on eBay. I think that's Santa, it is damaged, but I thought it was a neat Christmas. I think God Jewel is, I don't know what language, but I know it means Merry Christmas. Natalie said, not postcard but ephemera related. I have an old photo, and sorry I just now got to your question. I have an old photo from the 50s, an office setting with employees, think Mad Men. It is curling. Any suggestions on how to flatten that for photos / mailing? Well, you know, I do know some sellers that scan their items. I've bought from sellers that had postcards that were seriously curled, and they didn't disclose it anywhere in there. I mean, I was a little upset, but it wasn't the end of the world. I would definitely either try to fix it or just disclose it is totally fine too if you don't want to take the effort into trying to fix it. I guess depending on how bad it is you know, I might try to fix it or might just list it. Let me airdrop this picture to myself. Where is it? Okay. But I don't think it's really bad. I don't think it'll take away too much from the value. That sounds like a really cool photo though. And if it's like super warped, like if it looks like a U-turn, I would maybe try to do something to it. I don't really have any great tricks because I don't get a lot of postcards that are warped like that. Most of mine just have other types of damage. And that I just disclose and I don't really try to fiddle with or fix anything. But I would just put a bunch of heavy stuff on top of it. Close it in. I would just get a nice hardback book, go to the middle of the book, slide it in, close the book, put a bunch of books on top of it. I don't really, I don't know any other way. Somebody else probably has a better, that's done that before, probably has a better idea, but that's just what I think of off the top of my head. Okay, I'm searching for this God Jewel postcard, and I think that's Santa. It's a very skinny Santa. Okay, somebody's selling one of the same view, but it's a reproduction. There's nothing else out there, so I'm just gonna search God Jewel. I mean, he has a white beard, but he's quite slim. Surely that's Santa though, right? Let me just search on Terapeak. And mine does have the damage, so, you know, I'm not going to expect top of the line. Okay. Yeah, Santa's a little bit chubbier there. My Santa, I don't think that's Santa. That looks like an elf. I'm not really, I mean, my Santa looks more clean shaven. Is it Santa? He could be a dad. There. Well, he looks more Santa-like than this Santa. This guy, I would not open the. This guy would not be sliding down my chimney. What did that one sell for? Where was that? 25. Okay. Well, some have sold for I don't know. I'm just gonna do 19.95 on this one. If it didn't have the damage, I would maybe try to do 30 to 40. But yeah, I'm just gonna do 19.95 and call it a day. I think that's Santa. I'm no Santa expert. This is probably a very common postcard. Actually, I don't even know why I pulled this one to list. Pringle House, Charleston, South Carolina. Okay. Natalie said, okay, thank you. No scanner yet, but I may invest in one at some point. I would just invest in a flatbed scanner. If you don't have to scan a lot of stuff, because you can get the one I have, I think is the Epson V39, but I want to say I got it for like $30. So a flatbed scanner is not very much at all, and it's definitely better than taking photos of small little stuff like that. That doesn't have like multiple pages in it. Mr. Hot Wheels said put it in plastic and stack a couple books on it. Biff said you put curled photos on a wire rack inside a sealed container with a damp paper towel. In a few hours it relaxes and then you can put it under a book to flatten it. I would do what he says. It sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I've never tried that, but it sounds right. Philip said hate tape and postcard packaging. Have to fight to open some envelopes. Yeah, it's terrible because thankfully I've never torn a postcard. The worst that has happened is that it's maybe gotten a little bit bent, but I'm just gonna do $4.95 on this one. Yeah, I hate to have to wrestle with a envelope to get it open. This is a cool one. I thought at first it said Norwalk, Connecticut, but it's Norfolk, Connecticut, which I think is a smaller town. Church of Christ in Norfolk, Connecticut. I don't really have good luck with Norfolk, Connecticut cards, but this one I thought was neat. It doesn't look super uncommon. Maybe the view is. The subject is definitely not. No, that's my card right there, I believe. Or the same view at least. $10. Probably going to be going lower than that. I'll just see if any have sold. Okay, one sold for $10. Well, that's not the right church, is it? No, it is the right church. I don't know. I'm gonna do $7.95. $7.95. Maybe I'll get that. I've never heard of this town. It's gonna be maybe hard to find. Cocheckdon Center, New York. And there's no name to the subject, so I'm just gonna search the name of the town and pray that they don't have a ton of postcards. Cocheckdon Center. I'm just gonna make sure we got the center. Okay, 15. Not bad, not bad. That one's kind of like mine. Mine's like a view kind of like that. Yeah, I think that's actually exactly mine, except mine's in color. $8.49, and they have 2 watchers, so there's some hope. Yeah, other than that, I might go $9.95 if I'm feeling frosty. Wow, $5.89 is the most a card is sold from Coshocton, New York. Yeah, I'd be really ambitious going $9.90. Okay, one sold for $19.95. Yeah, mine no. I mean, this one is fairly similar. $14.95 in January. Maybe. Mine's fairly similar to that too. I'm just gonna go $12.95. I don't think I'm too far off. Mine's pretty cool, right? Brighton Beach Park. I don't think it's hard to find Brighton Beach postcards, but This one had a nice ice cream sign in it. Sorry, I didn't even show you. Uh, yeah, see, nice ice cream stand right there. Brighton Beach Park, Brighton Beach, New Jersey. Well, there it is. There's my card. $9, $20, $14.75, $9.99. If I underprice all them, I'd be at like $7.95, $12. I don't know. I'll look to see what's sold, but I'm probably just going $7.95. There's a lot of the. It's a cool card, but there is a lot of those out there. Okay, yeah, I don't see one that has sold yet. Still don't see one. Okay, the first one that I found of the same card is $5.57, so I'll still go $7.95, and it'll get down to $5.57 eventually. Japanese Tea Garden Luna Park, Coney Island. These Coney Island ones are probably going to be pretty common, but I always have a soft spot in my heart for Coney Island. Japanese Tea Garden Luna Park. Burn that image into my brain. Let's see, let me get caught up on the chat. Natalie said, thank you guys. No problem, Natalie. Biff, I've fixed photos that have been curled into literal tubes this way. Photos curl if not properly stored. They have emulsion on one side and nothing on the other side of the paper, so they curl towards the emulsion. Store flat by size weighted. Damp paper towel is a good idea if black and white. Be careful if writing, or be careful of writing on back. Ink can run. Yeah, I think corning is a good caveat. If you mix multiple size photos together, smaller can cause. Okay, photo tips. Always good to know. Okay, $7.46, $6.95, $4.99. Just gonna go $5.95 and call it a day. Well, no, mine has the damage on the corners. I'm gonna go $4.95 and call it a day. Shooting the Chutes, Dreamland, Coney Island. I guarantee you this card is probably common. Okay. I know Shooting the Chutes is common. This card might be slightly different than some of the other ones. I'm guessing I'm going to get 46 results for Shooting the Chutes. 35, damn. No, that's my card right there. Somebody, oh, it's a Hold Delight. Is mine a Hold Delight? No way. It was kind of thicker paper. No way. Well, that'd be nice. Okay, where is it? Oh. No. No. Damn. No, it is a little bit different paper, but mine looks exactly like that. Just not Hold to Light. Unfortunately, I got the regular variant, not the Hold to Light variant. That is the exact same view as mine, though. Yeah, that. Well, this particular view might be a little bit less common. Slightly less common. I know there are a lot of collectors at Coney Island. Maybe somebody's looking for that card. You never know. You never know. Let's see. Okay. Well, they've sold as high as $18. Is mine really not Hold to Light? Come on. How did I... Mine's exactly the same as the... Yeah, mine doesn't have the moon. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess the moon is probably... No, it looks like something on the building, too. Damn. Well, you can't win them all. That one sold for $18. Hold to Light. $9.99. $8.87. Let's see. I'm thinking $9.95. That's a good price for a non-Hold to Light. Less common card. This is a neat one. I have high hopes for this one, but it might not do well. Picturesque Bellwood, New Jersey. And there's a sign saying go to the train that way. But I've never heard of Bellwood, New Jersey or seen an older postcard from there. So I'm going to see what we have. Okay, never mind. No, it might be... I mean, there's a chance my view could be slightly less common, but that's pretty close. In Bellwood Park. And mine is a little different. Picturesque Bellwood. I'm not like drastically different, but whoops. Um, oh, there it is. There's my card. 5.99. Let's see. I'm just gonna make sure. Hmm. Yeah, probably gonna go 5.95. I'll be 4 cents cheaper than that other person. I'm just gonna see, maybe. Whoops, did I not copy? Oh yeah. I guess Bellwood. Either they're a little more common or not in super high demand. Yeah, $22 is the highest one has gone for from the Lehigh Valley Railroad. You know what? I'm feeling a little frosty. I'm gonna go 14.95 on that one because I put in mine that mine has a sign pointing you to the train. And I think the postcard that is up is the only other one like mine with that sign that says go to the train this way. So, where was that one? God. Where was it? It was 5.99. Was it higher up? No, it wasn't that one. I can't even find it anymore. I know it was for 5.99. I'm assuming they didn't have anything in their title talking about the train sign. I don't know how much value that adds. I'm just gonna do 9.95. Might have to lower it over time, but maybe not. Maybe I'll get lucky. This is an interesting cat one. I'm just gonna airdrop this one and search by image because that's gonna be a lot easier than trying to type what's going on in that picture. Okay, on with the merry dance. Okay. Airdrop to me. Okay, let's see if we have anything for this. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks like this was a series. But I only found two in the series. There's one listed for $17 from Canada and one listed for $5.99 that is teddy bears and not cats. But actually this one might be from a different. Okay. Yeah, there's only one listed from this series that is for 17 US dollars and it's pretty similar. The cats are just in a different pose, but it looks like the same cats. So I might go, I don't know, $10 to $15, probably somewhere in that range. I'm going to search for On with the Merry Dance cats and see if I can find anything, but cats are always popular. Okay. Louis Wayne did one, or a similar one, and not really seeing anything else. On with the Merry Dance. Okay, there it is. In 2013, a similar one sold for $14.99. I'm just going to do $14.95. I'm not going to think too hard about it. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Air Park Motel and Restaurant, Mexico, Missouri. This is a motel, roadside card. Got some old cars. This one might be a more common one, but I'm taking a chance. Air Park Motel. Mexico, Missouri. I think there's a Cuba, Missouri too. Okay, yeah, there's. None of them look. That one is my card right there for $6.95, and that one is my card for $6.99. And I'm not going to the second page. So I don't know, probably $5 to $6. Yeah, I'm just gonna go $5.95. One would probably be out there for a little while. This was a neat one. Market Street on Oddfellows Day in Johnsonburg, New York. It is damaged. Looks like a rat got to it, but I don't think I'd seen much from Johnsonburg, or not. Did I say New York? Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania. Um, Oddfellows Day. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen a postcard of an Oddfellows Day. So, okay, there is one for $5.95. Come on. Mark Clemens listed this one for $5.95. My card is in worse condition. Okay, and let's see. Maybe Johnsonburg just isn't a great seller. Let's find out. I think it was Market Street. Oh, Johnsonburg sells pretty well. I mean, it could just be that this card. Let me see when he listed that one. Odd fellows. Oh, but not fellow. There's multiple odd fellows. I'm gonna go to, okay. Oh, wait. Okay, there's more than one up. It's just only showing me one. Mark's card has been up since 2017. This one has been up since 2019. And this one has been up, or it was just listed yesterday, for $13. God, I'm gonna go $9.95. I don't know if I'll be able to get that, but I don't know. Morris High School, New York City. So it's probably a fairly common card. But I thought, what the hell? Yeah, that is my exact card right there. $5.99, $4.46. Probably just gonna go, yeah, $4.95. Not thinking about that anymore. Dreamland at Night, Coney Island. And yeah, I know this one's gonna be pretty common. Ones in this series from Coney Island are pretty common, but like I said, I have a soft spot for Coney Island. I don't really want to have to look through all these. That's my card right there, I think. Yeah, $5.95, $4.46. I'm just gonna go $4.95. Not gonna waste too much mental energy on that. Venetian Gardens, Coney Island, New York. Pretty sure this one's also gonna be around $4.95, but let's make sure. Did mine look like that? I think it did. Whoops. Yeah, that's my card. $7.87, $8.99, $6.59, $6.93, $6.26. You know what? $4.95, and somebody will get a little bit of a deal. Church Street, Hageman, New York. I hadn't heard of Hageman, which is why I decided to list this one. New York towns can be hit or miss, so I don't know as much about it as I know about other states. And it has a lot of little towns that you've never heard of, and some of them don't really sell well at all. So this is one of them. You can get this card for as little as $2.99. I'm probably just going to be around $4.95. Yeah, $4.95, and I'll take the first $4 that comes in the door. Crown Tavern and Cottages, Cameron, Missouri. This one's probably pretty common, and I was correct. I'm just going to make sure mine's the same. Yeah. I had two of these to list, which I listed them separately. My rule of thumb is if I have more than, or three or more, I will list it as a multi-quantity listing. But if I only have two, I just list both the postcards. Probably, I'll just go $4.95. $4.95. Okay, this is a Canadian card, which I don't sell a ton of Canadian cards, but I am selling this one, or at least I'm going to try to. Hawkesbury and Point Tupper. Tupper, Cape Breton, which is an island off Nova Scotia, I believe. Okay. I have a few more Canadian ones to list. Don't see anything listed, which isn't surprising. Let's see. Let's just search. Okay. It's a Chrome card sold for $8.89. Okay. Well, that's my card, and it sold for $2.53. Not great. I'm gonna shoot for the stars, and I'm gonna just list it at $9.95. That one sold for $8.89. How much different is my card really? Okay, this is a small town in Nova Scotia from the First Bridge, or First Bridge, Antigonish, Nova Scotia, from First Bridge. First Bridge. Okay, not surprising, not surprising. Nothing, let's see. Without the bridge. Okay, well, I'm gonna turn off my air conditioning. It's getting a little chilly. Looks like this town is these might all be RPPCs, but some of those have sold for decent money at least. Here's a printed card of the train depot that sold for $15. I'm just gonna go $9.95 again. It's a bridge and a little creek, so my hopes are not high. Back to the U.S., the Grotto St. Vincent's Hospital in Belleville, Illinois. Ashley says, got a drop. Thanks for going live, Daniel. Bye, friends. Have a good one, Ashley. It looks like a couple of this one up, $6.99 and $10. Another $6.99. It's going $5.95. Not gonna think about this too hard. I promise I do have some better cards coming up here. Just in a little bit of a lull. Douglas Avenue Bridge. Actually, let's see. Mine's a little nicer view. I think it's like them opening the bridge or something. You got a lot of people on the bridge. So let me just search for new Douglas Avenue Bridge, Wichita, Kansas. Okay, $14.98. And nobody watching that one. $9.99. But not much going on. I might just go, yeah, that's my card right there, $6.50. I mean, there's not one currently out, so I'm just gonna go $9.95, and who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Carnegie Library, Jacksonville, Illinois. Nice library. Looks like they got a lot of books. I have a really nice Texas card, actually, towards the end. So give you a reason to stay around. Because if you're like me, you're losing the desire to keep going. $3.88, $3.75. You know what? I'll meet him at $3.95. Wichita Children's Home, another Wichita, Kansas card. Children's Home, I'm guessing it's an orphanage. I'm just going to put that in there. That's what children's homes were, I am pretty sure. Let's see if we got any children's homes currently listed in Wichita, Kansas. Yes, we do. Starting at $4.99, $5.97, $4.54. I'm just going $4.95. This was a neat one. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this one sold for, $10 to $15. I just thought it was a cool view of orange packing in Florida. And I've sold some more kind of generic views for more than I would have thought. Particularly Kentucky. I think one I sold was just it was just like a field in Kentucky, and it didn't have a town name or anything. It was just like, something field in Kentucky. And I sold that one for, I want to say, 15 or 20 bucks. Packing oranges. think that's the same one, same type of view as mine, except mine is full color, if that matters at all. $9.98, $7.45. That's the same card. $20, $9.95. See if we have any sold, but I'm probably gonna go like $7.95 ish. Okay. Buddy. Yeah, I don't see any reason I should go higher. This is pretty much the same one, but it does have the name of an actual orange grove on there, so probably a little bit better than mine, if we're being honest. This is the same one. Packing oranges in Florida, $7.91. So what? $7.95. That's a fair price, right? Oh my god, just made my screen disappear. Okay. You know, I kind of like mine a little bit better. I'm still gonna go $7.95, but that's a nice card right there. This is a really neat one too. A little break from the lull. Christian Church, Renfro, Oklahoma. I looked up Renfro, Oklahoma, and it said the population was like very small. Let me see if I can find it. Population is 12 at the 2010 census. So I don't know if they counted in 2020, but maybe they stopped counting. Oh no, it says 2023, it's up to 19. So maybe one of those 19 people is looking for a postcard of this church. Yeah, not surprised. Okay. Yeah, somebody, oh yeah, Pop 12, that's great, yeah. Population 12. Renfro, that's a, I don't know. Okay, it looks like there's just two photos out for Renfro. One's 15, one's close to 30. Let's see what's sold. I'm probably going to go around $20 on this card, but... Yep. Nothing is sold. Doesn't look like this town's in super... Oh, there it is. There's the Christian Church. $29.99, but I'm gonna bet that they took an offer for a little bit less than that. So I'm just going $19.95, and you know, the population has increased from 12 to 19. I'm hoping that one of those people that moved in is a postcard collector. Congregational Church, Hettinger, North Dakota. I don't have super good luck with North Dakota small towns, but here's hoping that luck will change today. Nice card. Really nice hand-colored card. Mr. Hot Wheels said, I just acquired an old McDonald's French fries ad postcard from the 60s and early 70s. Any good? Yes. Actually, if you go to the Wichita Postcard Club YouTube channel, Hal Ottaway collects McDonald's, I believe. At least he's the one that did the video about the McDonald's postcards, and I assume it was his collection. You don't necessarily need to watch the video, but I would recommend it because it's very entertaining and educational. But yeah, McDonald's postcards can sell pretty good, especially from the, you know, earlier period, like 60s and early 70s. Let me see, when did McDonald's open? 1940. But I don't know. 60s to early 70s is still old to me. But yeah, I'll look some up in a second here to show you. Henninger, I don't see the Congregational Church, just the Methodist Church. Oh no, there it is. 1750 and $45, quite the spread. One person likes that. I'm probably gonna go $14.95 on this one. None have sold. The highest price one, or only one church is sold from Hettinger, sorry. Not sure how to say it, for $5.50. I'm gonna be a little ambitious. $14.95. Okay. Yeah, let's look up some McDonald's postcards. And maybe I'll search fries. Okay. Yeah, look at this. I don't know if this is your exact card. French fries ad from the 60s, early 70s. But I mean, this French fries card, or free burger and fries from the 60s sold for as much as 30. And then you've got some more that have sold for 18, 20. Maybe this is yours? I don't know. That one has sold for a little bit less. I don't know. I guess people probably like this one more because it has the, old style of the McDonald's building right there. So if you've got this one, I would try to get at least 20 out of it. If yours is this one, maybe 10 to 15. Um, but yeah, McDonald's in general, this was probably going to come up. Maybe I'll just search McDonald's restaurant. Yeah, look, these McDonald's cards have sold for as much as $75 last year. So it was the first and fries one. Yeah, you could maybe try to get $15 out of that. I mean, you could maybe reach for 20. I would probably price it at 14.95, but I would definitely put in the and you still do have the view of the building right there. So you could maybe even do a zoom in of the building because it looks like that's what's drawing the collectors to that postcard. So, you know, I do like 14.95, but yeah, McDonald's postcards are very collectible, and some can sell for yeah, like over $50, like that one we saw. Lutheran Church, New Ulm, Minnesota. It's a church in Minnesota. The Lutheran Church specifically. Mm-hmm. Evangelical Lutheran or just regular Lutheran? What's the difference? I can't. Every church looks the same to me. I think that's the same church. I have no idea. That looks pretty close. $5.98. That sounds about right to me. Let me see if anything is sold. But yeah, McDonald's postcards are cool. If I have only come across a few McDonald's postcards, but I would list every single McDonald's postcard I came across. Churches in New Ulm, Minnesota have sold for as much as, well, that's a lot, as much as $11.04. I'm just gonna do $5.95, $7.95. Baptist Church in Parsonage, Hancock, New York. Hancock, New York, I don't think I've seen a ton of postcards from. This one could do, if this one's at least $10, I'm feeling good. No. This is a more modern card, so I'm not going to necessarily compare mine to that, but you can get an RPPC of it for $10.31, so going to be a little bit limited what I can price mine for. Probably, I don't know, $7.95. Let's see. I'm just gonna go $7.95. Maybe somebody will be interested in that price. It is an older card. Miami KFC postcard is a $40 bolo. Oh, cool. Let me look that one up. Well, yeah, it must be, because it's not, maybe it's only in Worth Point. Well, maybe not even in Worth Point. They do Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, here it is. Yeah, $40. Yeah, that's a really cool card. I can see why that one would sell for $40. This next one is the Calvary Presbyterian Church in Wichita, Kansas. I don't know if Hal Ottaway is here watching, but I don't think, or maybe this is a more common Wichita card. Okay. No, it's not that church. Yeah, I don't see this church. I'm just gonna search for Calvary. Yeah, none of that church are out here. None of that church have sold. My card is damaged. Yeah, none of that church have sold. So I'm just going to look at what other churches in Wichita have gone for. Assuming I have a more uncommon card of a church in Wichita. Those are real photos. 17, 20. So a printed card sold for $15.99. Man, I wish mine didn't have the damage. It's really unfortunate. Always is. Always is. Okay. That's a printed card. Went for, what, $18.27. I'll try $14.90. The corner is not entirely missing. I'll try $12.95. This is a chrome card of a church in Sonora, California, St. James Episcopal Church. I thought it was like a cool design of a church. A little unique architecture there. Mr. Hot Wheels said, I saw it in an auction lot of about 150 cards and I won it for $1. Awesome. That's a great buy. I mean, pay for the lot 10 times over with just that card, I would think. A couple of these out here, $6.47, $7.99. I'm just going to do $4.95. Not going to think too much about it. Okay, Wear Pledge Clothes for Boys. This is an advertising style postcard of clothes for boys. Okay, yeah, that's my card. $7.95. Okay, $5.95. I'm not gonna think too hard about it. Oh, Old Stone Church. I think this is gonna be a common one. It's in Elm Grove near Wheeling, West Virginia. I could be wrong, but it looks like one of those churches that would be built in like the 1600s and they just made a ton of postcards of because it was so old. Yeah. $14.95. Oh, that's my card right there. I had listed it for $6.29 and it is now on sale for $4.72. So I'm just going to list this one for $4.95. Jacksonville State Hospital, Jacksonville, Illinois, which is an insane asylum, but I don't think it's a super uncommon one. Whoops. Brad said, is $4.95 the lowest you list a card, even if most of the comparable cards are listed lower? No, I will go down to $3.95 in some situations, but yeah, $4.95 I try to stay at. But if there's like this card, I'll go back. So this card in Elm Grove near Wheeling, there's, the lowest one's at $2.50, but there's at $4.95. I mean, I'm already the second lowest at $4.72 of the exact same. That's a slightly different card, but I think $4.95 is a fairly competitive price. Not the very bottom, but definitely not the top either, which would probably be $14.99, which you're not going to get for that card. So yeah, to answer your question, I will go $3.95 on some cards, but there has to be at least 2 to 3 of them listed at like $2 or $3 for me to consider going that low. State Hospital. Oh, I completely forgot where I was. That's my card, I believe. $50, $7.49. That is pretty damaged. I might go $9.95. I'll just see what they've sold for, but I only see two cards that are the exact same as mine, but a good number of older cards. Okay, yeah, it sold for as much as $18.50. This is actually my card right here. Sold for $17.56 in January of 2024. So I'm just gonna go. No, that's not mine. I'm gonna go $14.95. Well, it also sold for $5.56 in February. I'll try 14.95 just because it has sold for more within the last year. I don't know if I'll get that, but you never know, right? This is a cool one of Wellsburg. Oh, whoops. Wellsburg, West Virginia. City Hall, Courthouse, Sheriff's Office, Wellsburg, West Virginia. Okay. That's my card right there. Up for 920. I know that's low. They price their cards pretty well. I might do 995. That one way too high. Yeah. $7.99 and $4.95 is what the card is sold for. So I'll just list for $9.95, and then if somebody wants to send me like an offer for $8, I will probably take it. Josh said, just jumping in to say hi, Daniel. Hi, Josh. I have something for you. I will reach out and send you an email once it's ready. Cool. I love surprises. Mr. Hot Wheels said, I also got another cool one in a real cheap lot. It's Mickey Mantle's Holiday Inn. That's a great card. I think, I don't know if he signed any of them. But anything baseball related like that sells really well. Let's see. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's gone for what? As much as $50? So yeah, I mean, you could probably get at least 20 out of it, I would think. But yeah, all over the board. Okay, where was I? Oh, this was a pretty neat card. Got some neat ones coming up actually. This one is damaged, unfortunately, but it's an advertising postcard for Eggo cereal, and it was also had the Jamestown Exposition printed on the back. So Eggo maybe had like a booth or building, probably just a booth at the exposition, and had these cards. This is a pretty common one. Mine is damaged, so I'm just gonna go $4.95. This is the sanitarium in Wichita, State Sanitarium. And I believe that's the same building. Yeah. So yeah, 5. Mine is slightly different. Mine is that actually. So yeah, 5. I'm just gonna go $4.95. Ringland Hall. Okay, this is a Hastings College multi-view. Hastings, Nebraska. I put some of the things that were in the subject in the title. Okay, yeah, that's my card, I'm pretty sure. So looking like what, $4.95, $8.95. Oh yeah, yeah. This one I will go $3.95 on because there's gonna be 3 that are around that. So, and mine has a little bit of damage. Maple Avenue, looking west, Centerville, Iowa. This was a nice card. I always look out for these photo-at cards. They're usually pretty good. C.U. Williams. Okay, $4.99 and $14.75. $5.95 it is. This is another one up in Canada. It's a view of Baddock, which I guess is a town on Cape Breton Island. So I'm just going to look for Baddock, Cape Breton. Postcard. Oh no, okay, too many. Mine's pretty similar to that though. Quite similar to that. Yeah, mine's the exact same except maybe produced by a different publisher. I mean, I'm just gonna go $5.95. I do like that series though. I don't know who made it, but they produced a lot of Canadian cards that look similar to that. Yeah, this mine's in the same series as that one. But the view is pretty common. This is my card right here. Oh, maybe I'll try for $9.95. I mean, it sold for $8.87 in January, so what the heck? $9.95. This was a really cool card, actually. Advertising for, it looks, if you only look at the building and see Union Station, Washington, D.C., you don't think it's anything, but there's a car driving by advertising for Champion spark plugs, and you can see the spark plug on the side of the truck or car. So I thought that one was really cool. I'm going to look for Champion spark plugs postcard. And this could be common, but I have a hope. And let's see. Okay, 16. That's an older one. This is a pretty similar one, going by the National Capital in DC. Maybe a little bit later than mine, since that one's a white border card. But that's a pretty good comparable card, at least. And that's really it. Other than that, it's pretty different. Okay. Wow. Really? Okay. Well, I have an opportunity for someone. If you want to make a little money, you could probably do it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anybody watching this, if you want to make about $40 to $45, I have pretty good evidence you could. Okay. Check this out. So, um, this is near the home of Lyman Hall, signer of the Declaration of Independence, and that is Midway Halls Knoll. Yeah, so it's in Midway, Georgia, near the home of Lyman Hall. But this seller here uh, just took the name of the car, which is, or the city and state on the car, which is Toledo, Ohio. And yeah, Champion Spark Plugs Toledo. But this is actually in Midway, Georgia. So this card sold April 11th for $60. And the same card is currently available for $14.95. So if you watch this far in the video, I think you can make $40 if you buy that card. I'm not gonna buy it. Not that I have anything against that. But yeah, I would do that if I was a watcher and buy that one. I just think it would be a cool thing to do. Buy that one for $14.95. You could probably sell it for around $60. Since one sold 11 days ago for $60 verified. But that one, I believe, only sold for that much because of the Georgia connection. Trying to price my card. Oh, it sold again for $37.50 in January. So yeah, you can at least sell it for $40, I would think. And you can buy it for $14.95. Here's my card. Champion spark plugs at Union Station. It sold for $13.99 in 2022. That's a great reason to do your research, because not only is that one currently listed for $14.95, it also sold for $11. But the sellers that researched and knew where that was located sold it for much more. Okay. Wow, $263. One of those sold for. That was a postcard. In 2020. In the Sierra Nevada mountains. Nevada, maybe. My card, though, I think it's going to be around 20 bucks. I saw the one sold for $13.99. Champion Spark Plugs. What if I just do Champion Spark Plugs Washington? Yeah, that's really, I mean, it's a fairly uncommon card, but not in super high demand from the two that have sold. But it's been a little while since it's been up, so I'm just going to do 19.95 on that one, even though it's a little damaged. This is a cool one. It is quite damaged, but I wasn't. You know, it's such a cool postcard that I wanted to list it anyway. It does have staining and missing a corner, but it's an airship. Nancy said, thanks to Postcards for the number of items sold metric, I guess. I just made top rated seller and I finally have 500 listed. Awesome. La Republique. Okay, here it is. Mine's a Tux card. 10, 11.99, 18.97. Mine's much more damaged than those, so I'm just gonna go 5.95. Maybe somebody will bite at that price. This is the cool Texas one I said I had to list. It's Main Street in Bridgeport, Texas. I don't think I've found any Bridgeport cards before, but Texas usually does pretty well. So I'm hoping for at least $20 out of this card. And nothing listed. Nothing sold. So let's just see what we have for Bridgeport. Up to 20. This one sold for, well, this is a 1960 card from Bridgeport, sold for 20. So I'm probably going to price mine at least at 40. I don't know if I'll get that, but this just seems way too low for these cards. If this card sold for 20. And mine is the Main Street, so I would think it would appeal to collectors of Texas too. And not just collectors of Bridgeport. But yeah, it doesn't really look like Bridgeport is a great seller. I am going to maybe shoot for the stars a little bit and go $39.95. But there's nothing out there, and Texas is a pretty popular state. Okay, got just a couple more postcards left, and I'll probably close the stream down. I've grown a little weary. Alex said, good stream idea to show us your listing process. Yeah, I've did one of these a couple months ago, but I did 100, and that was way too many to do live. So this one I had already had 50 done, and that's a lot more manageable to do the remaining 50 instead of all 100. This is a cool one, Califon, New Jersey. I don't think I'd heard of that. This person had a very interesting name, Barton Apgar, their residence in Califon, New Jersey. So I'm going to just search for residents in Califon. Nothing out there. I don't know if Califon's a good town or not. I don't think I've ever seen anything from it. And neither have most people, it looks like. Okay, a popcorn wagon in Califon sold for $96. Oh, wow. North Main Street sold for $59. Okay, that looks like somebody's house, sold for $35. You know what, I'm going to go $39.95 on this one too. I think I could get it. The next one is a chrome card of a Main Street in Coldwater, Kansas, which I was getting ahead of myself a little bit. I apologize. Coldwater, Kansas. That's my card right there, up for $9.93. None other listed that are exactly the same, but similar views just earlier. Nobody's watching that one. I'm thinking maybe $7.95. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably, $7.95 on that one. Sounds like a good price to me. Okay. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm just going to make sure I have my SKUs right before posting. Okay, 47,400. and we are at 47,400. I just keep a running list of the SKU I'm at, or a running note of the SKU I'm at, just to make sure I don't skip ahead or skip any numbers. But yeah, we're on 47,400. Gonna go ahead and list those postcards. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thanks for allowing me to get a little work done while we do the live stream. I'll be back Monday, hopefully, with actually, I don't know if I'll have time to make a video Monday. I'll try to make a video Monday, but I should be live again next Tuesday for a live stream. So hope to see you then. Hope you enjoyed watching and maybe even learned a thing or two. And I will see you next week. Have a good one.